Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Scoop. Today we go over Andrew Tate's first game out of jail. Enjoy.
It gets nasty. So in this game, Andrew Tate is rated 1637, his opponent is rated 1649, and it was a 5-minute game played on chess.com. Andrew opens up with the move d4, nothing uncommon there, and it's actually said that when Andrew was in jail, he was able to play up to 21 moves of blindfold chess without losing the position, which is actually extremely impressive. And after d4, we see knight f6. This is the most common way for black to combat this move. c4 and now d5. So now we are in the queen's gambit declined. And what I like to do here is play a move like knight c3 or develop my knight. So that's the most commonly played moves. Another really good idea here is just to exchange here. And when this knight takes back, play e4 and grab the center. Instead of any of this, we see the sixth most popular move here by Andrew. And he goes bishop g5. It's about to get interesting because after dc3 and e3, trying to win back this pawn, black leaps into the center with his knight and goes knight e4. Now, if you're white here, you can play knight f3, defending this bishop, or you can try and preserve your bishop with the move bishop h4, and bishop h4 is what was played in the game. However, black lashes out with the move g5, attacking this bishop g3, but now knight g3 and hg3. So here black has the bishop pair. However, in compensation for this, Tate has the open h file. So a very interesting position, and here black goes bishop e6. Defending this pawn is normally not a good idea in chess to develop your bishop in front of a pawn. Here it's not the end of the world because Andrew slides his queen early on into the game and goes queen a4 check, checking this king. c6 is played, blocking the check. Here, you know, you're in check, you have to block c6. And here Andrew plays bishop c4. Now, I'm not too sure who he was playing in jail, but this move bishop z4 is a blunder due to this move b5. However, it was missed in the game. Tate just dodged a bullet because bishop c4 was played, but now queen c4, and here queen a5. This queen gets into the game and checks the king. So Tate's opponent kind of doing the same thing that he did, checking this king. Now white has different ways to block this check. Move like knight c3, blocking it would be a nice idea, also getting the knight into the game. Instead, queen c3, perfectly fine. And after queen c3 and knight c3 and knight d7, here Andrew plays one of the top engine moves and goes knight e4, also attacking this pawn in g5, and this pawn is defended by the move h6. Try work out why this move h6 is no good. You can try pause the video, or you may just already know it. So the reason why this move h6 is bad is because it doesn't actually defend this pawn. This pawn can still be taken with knight g5, because if the knight is recaptured, then this rook, it wins this rook. Let me quickly show you. See, it just completely blunders. So if we go back a bit back to h6, well, this pawn was never actually defended. And instead of this, Andrew opts for knight f3. Bishop g7, defending this rook, so this rook is now nicely defended. Both players get their king to safety, king e2, and now castles queenside. And it gets interesting here because it's actually the middle game. In the middle game is where the action starts, and you've got to start thinking for yourself. And here Andrew kicks off the middle game with the move b4. So a very aggressive move. He's coming for his opponent's neck. f5, attacking this knight. This knight has to move. Knight c5. The knight is exchanged, takes and takes. So now Tate has the open b file, and we see rook h to e8. We see a4 and a6, and here rook h to d1. Now what's interesting here is that instead of playing the move e5, just completely blasting open the center, which would favor black as he has the strong bishop, instead of going e5, we see e6, which is way more passive, and this move will allow Andrew to actually have a lot more fun in this position. And after king e6, king f1, and bishop f6. Now bishop f6 isn't the greatest of moves because it doesn't really do too much. Rook d2 is played. Andrew is preparing to double up his rook, so getting his rooks on the d file. Rook h8, rook b1, and now h5. So it's a complete race here. These pawns are flying up the board trying to attack this king, and the h file might be opened as well. But here Tate creates his own problems with the move rook b2. So now he's threatening to actually take this pawn on b7. For that reason, the move rook d7 is played, defending this pawn. But now Tate plays a great move. He goes knight d2. So he's looking to penetrate penetrate these lovely holes. If you look at black's position, this is just Swiss cheese. There's holes everywhere. So black has to do something. h4, the race is on. gh4 and rook h4. And here the move knight c4 would be great. Instead we see king g1, which is also fine. e5 trying to open up the position. And also after this move e5, the time on the clock is Andrew has 3 minutes 16 seconds and his opponent has 3 minutes 31 seconds. And now the move g3 would be very strong, kicking this rook away and then going knight c4. Instead of going g3 first and giving this king a bit more breathing room, we see the move knight c4 first, rook d to h7, and now g3. So the move order is slightly reversed. Rook h1 check, king g2, and now we see an exchange of takes, and takes. And this position is very crucial because here the move Andrew had to play was knight d6, checking this king, and let's say knight d6, check, this king goes to b8, now winning back this pawn on f5. And the idea is because after takes and takes, the material is equal, but this pawn defends this d4 square. I'm going to show you what happened in the game so you understand why I said this. So after ed4 here, which was played, knight d6 was important to win this pawn on f5. Instead we see takes first, but now this bishop takes. After knight d6 now, check, king b8 was played. Now when we win this pawn is hanging. But remember when this pawn was on e3, defending this square. So now Tate is just down a pawn after knight f5. So takes. So Andrew is down a pawn in this endgame, and his opponent has a bishop. Can he conjure up one last attack? We see knight e3, rook e7, but now knight c4. So maybe looking at some nasty stuff. We see rook f7, but now rook b2 defending this pawn as there was a threat here. King a7 and now knight a5. Bishop b6 anyway, attacking this knight. We see knight c4 and now bishop c7. So this bishop has rerouted. The move f3 was played. a5 and now g4. We see b6. All really black needs to do here is just make a passed pawn, because after rook e2, king b7, knight e5, rook f4, and here the move knight g6. Here after black takes his pawn, Andrew unfortunately resigns. And I will be covering Andrew Tate's first win out of prison, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see that video. If you enjoyed this video, I think you might enjoy this video. Have a good day.